Good evening, grave robbers, and welcome back to the television graveyard. We are your TV necromancers, Laura Prince and Noah Houlihan, and we've come here tonight to examine the spirits of past television shows, find out which ones could be resurrected, should be resurrected, and which ones should just stay doomed. This is a podcast in which we'll analyze the history, the hype, and the aftermath of shows that ran only one season or only one episode. With me, as always, is TV's Noah Houlihan.
We're villains! We have to cheat!
So, this week we are doing Wacky Races Forever.
Yes, so I know that maybe in the last episode we said something about doing Police Squad, and we ran out of time, and that did not happen. So, I found that there was a Wacky Races pilot called Wacky Races Forever. I love Wacky Races. I was like, okay, let's do this. When I chose it, I didn't realize it was like 6 minutes. So we went from a 6-episode show to a 6-minute show.
But we have a bit to talk about because Wacky Races is one of those zombie franchises.
Yes.
They can't seem to let this one go.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a zombie franchise, because when I think of a zombie television show, that's a show that's like, no one's really at the helm, but it's still happening. Like, nobody cares. Like, there was like a zombie Family Guy time and a zombie Simpsons time where it's like, they can't kill it and it's just kind of there. This is something that, like, always returns. This is like a Dracula.
Yes, okay, so a vampire franchise.
Yes.
It's definitely something that comes up relatively frequently, despite the fact that it's not. Outside of Dick Dastardly and Muttley, most of the characters are not that iconic.
Well, first off, that's how you know Muttley. I would say Captain Caveman is relatively popular. Like, I don't think anyone cares about, like, Penelope Pitstop as much.
Penelope Pitstop did have a one-season spin-off of Wacky Races.
Really?
Yes. I actually, because we were not alive in the 1960s when Wacky Races began, I was watching this on Cartoon Network, which used to run a lot of these shows, and I watched The Perils of Penelope Pitstop before I knew she came from another show.
Oh, okay. So Wacky Races is basically a collection of Hanna-Barbera cartoons in a big Cannonball Run-esque race.
And every episode of Wacky Races was a race.
Yeah, was a race. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like at a time, Huckleberry Hound and Yogi Bear were in the Wacky Races. Like, I thought there was some star power in the Wacky Races.
No, because the main people we had were the Slag Brothers in the Bouldermobile.
Okay.
Rufus, Roughcut, and Sawtooth in the Buzzwagon. Mm-hmm. The Gruesome Twosome in the Creepy Coupe.
Yes.
The Anthill Mob in the Bulletproof Bomb. The Anthill Mob also were in Penelope Pitstop.
Yeah, they were mafia guys.
Yes.
They're wise guys.
Penelope Pitstop. The Red Max. Professor Pat Pending.
Patent pending.
Lazy Luke and Blubber Bear, which might be what your child brain. Peter Perfect. Sergeant Blast and Private Meekley. And then, of course, Dick Dastardly and Muttley.
Okay, interesting, because here's the thing that I'll tell this story to get us started for context of this show. In my child brain, or reflecting back on what I thought I saw as a child, I thought this was kind of Avengers-esque, in that it was all of the Hanna-Barbera cartoons getting together and Mario Karting.
Yes.
Like, I thought Huckleberry Hound or Magilla Gorilla were all in this, and you're telling me, no, that's just a complete incorrect memory. I might be conflating it with Yogi Bear and the Spruce Goose, which is the story of a magical airplane.
Take the holiday tour bus.
There's a whole group of people that are going to listen to this, and we're going to unlock old memories. There's also a whole group of people who are going to listen to this that it's just me saying nonsense words.
So, you're not insane.
Okay. How not insane am I?
There was a show called Fender Bender 500.
Oh.
That did include those characters.
Oh, okay. Because the other thing...
The Fender Bender 500 had Yogi and Boo Boo, Huckleberry Hound and Snagglepuss in a car.
There we go.
Magilla Gorilla and Wallygator, Top Cat and Choo Choo, Quick Draw McGraw and Babalooey,
Yeah.
Pixie and Dixie, Augie Doggy and Doggy Daddy, and Winsome Witch and Lucky the Cat. Now that I'm reading this, I do remember this.
Okay, so I mistook that as Wacky Races. Because... And you know what? This is wild, because now this means I was right as a child. I remember waking up early, because as a kid, I got up very early.
This was in syndication, and it ran from 1990 to 1991.
Okay. You have no idea what you're filling me with right now. I would wake up very, very early as a child. I remember as a kid, like, before I knew how to tell time, when I would wake up, I would run to my window to see if there was light. And if there was any type of sunshine, I got up and watched TV. So I was often getting up at like 6 a.m. to watch cartoons. So I watched what I now realize is this Fender Bender show and told my parents, I just found this really cool show. It's new. It's all these characters, these cartoon characters, all together having these races in these big silly cars. And my parents said, that's Wacky Races, that's not a new show. That was when I was a kid. And I was like, no, this is new. And I had an argument with my parents saying, no, this is new. And I thought for years I tried to argue with my parents that Wacky Racers came out in the 90s and not the 60s. Turns out the show I watched was actually new, and I'm finding out right now.
Yes, you were very much thinking of Fender Bender 500. It was only released over about 4 months, but it did have 50 episodes in the way cartoons often did, and had so probably aired for a much longer time.
Go 6-year-old me. You know how it feels to be vindicated after decades? Feels good.
Disney Channel would also air it. So they would air it with like an extra short at the end because Disney Channel did not have any commercials at that time. You were so happy.
I am. But to our younger listeners, these are the characters that you would find today on Cartoon Network on the show Jellystone.
Yes.
It was those characters, but from the past. In any case, Wacky Races, which is the thing we're supposed to actually be talking about.
It's 6 minutes. We can spare the moment.
Yeah, but we could circle back to the topic at hand. Wacky Races. This is a attempted revival of this show from the 1960s, where it was the Gruesome Twosome and Captain Caveman and Dick Dastardly having these big wacky races. This is the pilot for a new version called Wacky Races Forever. This is not the show that I believe is on Netflix that is also Wacky Races.
Yes, Wacky Races did get a successful revival about 10 years after this pilot, in 2017 that ran 2 seasons.
Yes.
But again, cartoon seasons, so it has, per Wikipedia, 78 episodes.
Right. So we're talking about a brief window in 2007 where they tried to revive the Wacky Races.
It's also not Wacky Raceland.
It's not?
Yeah, we need to discuss Wacky Raceland, because in doing the research for this episode, I found out a gritty comic reboot of Wacky Races exists.
Ooh, all right, go on.
Muttley is a I turned the computer around to show Noah Muttley in the comic, and he almost spat up.
That was a legitimate spit take. Let me see that again. Okay, so
it's a bionic Rottweiler.
It is, yeah, it's a bionic Rottweiler. Like, Muttley is a cartoon dog with a silly laugh. That is a nightmare.
Yes, it's a mutated and robotically enhanced dog who got like a super serum. So he's extra intelligent and aggressive.
I'm really smart now, and I'm pissed about it.
Penelope and Peter Perfect still exists. Professor Pat Pending still exists. Most of the original characters exist in some fashion. Captain Caveman, who you mentioned earlier, was modeled off the Wacky Races character.
Oh, I'm incorrect.
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's just a group of cavemen who are not captains?
So there was a period where DC Comics was just doing these.
Okay.
Was doing like Hanna-Barbera grown-up crossovers in the wake of the very successful Gritty Archie reboots.
Okay. I'm not familiar.
So, before Riverdale, because I was watching you be like, when they were doing Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, which eventually became a deeply terrible show on Netflix, and when they were doing Archie Afterlife, and they were doing these more adult Archie comics projects, Hanna-Barbera went, Lord, I see what you have done for others.
Yes.
So that's what gave us Scooby Apocalypse.
Oh my god.
What are the other ones? There is a Flintstones one. That one still looks kind of lighthearted. Comparatively, it's not as...
It's not Flintstones Ice Age or Flintstones Extinction.
Exit stage left, the Snagglepuss Chronicles.
Oh, is that where he gets really into drugs?
They talk about the atom bomb and blacklisting.
Oh, it's the Red Scare?
Shut up. It's Snagglepuss is a gay playwright in the 1950s being victimized under McCarthyism. I need to find this now.
I'm not a commie, I tell ya. I'm an American, I tell ya. Again, most of our audience don't get these jokes.
Oh no.
Jokes, they just mean references.
It's on Amazon and it's not expensive, and I'm probably going to buy it.
Oh.
Well,
I like capitalism even. Let me go already.
I'm reading...
You don't know who this is. You don't know how bad my impression is.
I just read some of the plot. I'm reading this because holy crap. And the characters also, most recently, there was a giant-sized Wacky Races comic this year, and they also, Dick Dastardly and Muttley appear in the film Scoob.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good for them.
I'm not going to spoil their role in it, in
But
case
they're there.
anyone wants to see a 5-year-old film. They didn't sign up to be spoiled for Scoob.
Yeah.
And there was a stop-motion project announced and later canceled.
Oh, that would have been fun.
That's why I keep calling this a zombie franchise, though. Like, this is something they do keep trying to go back to. Hanna-Barbera sort of has the rough thing of they don't have a character that has somehow endured quite the same way as...
Other than Scooby?
Other than Scooby. They don't have a stable.
There has not been a time in my existence where Scooby-Doo was not running.
I cannot think of a time Scooby-Doo was irrelevant in my life.
Yeah. He's from the 70s. In any case.
Holy crap. Sorry. There are 45 Scooby-Doo movies, 13... There's only 13 television series, which I'm really shocked by. I really assumed it was more.
I mean, yeah. I love Scooby-Doo.
I think it's also that Scooby-Doo Where Are You aired for so long in reruns.
Yeah.
That you don't realize that it only ran for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then, surely, it's never really been, I'm just looking real quick. There have been about 10 years of our lives where they were not actively making a Scooby-Doo series. When we were kids, but they were re-airing the old ones at a clip where we just never noticed.
Yeah, I never remember not watching Scooby-Doo, like, or A Pup Named Scooby-Doo, or The New Adventures of Scooby-Doo, or the Scooby-Doo and the 13 Ghosts.
13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo is way better than it should have been.
And then I think there's like the Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo Power Hour or something, where they don't hunt ghosts. They're just, like, doing shenanigans.
There are all sorts of them.
In any case, getting back to Wacky Races Forever, the show we are covering, have not spoken about yet, and could have watched twice at this point. See, in my mind, there is one person sitting in front of their computer being like, talk about the show!
So Scooby-Doo.
Wacky Races Forever is my favorite show, and I hate Scooby-Doo. So to this one person, let's get into it.
So the art style very much reminded me of Johnny Bravo, because Hanna-Barbera also had a big hand in those cartoons. That initial run of Cartoon Network cartoons.
That really is what it is, because I was trying to figure out what it reminded me of. And I have that...
A character reminds me of Jungle Boy, almost immediately. Jungle Boy?
Jungle Boy? From AEW?
No, from Johnny Bravo.
There was a Jungle Boy?
Yes, I'm not losing it.
Oh.
Do you know this man?
I believe that is Jungle Boy.
Yes.
Does he do the monkey with him?
He's in the... We were talking about this... We talked about this, like, earlier this summer. About the, like, extra things that came with TV shows.
Oh, okay.
Jungle Boy was
the side cartoon to Johnny Bravo?
Yes.
Okay.
But something immediately reminded me of him. So my first note is, oh, this looks like Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, because the eyes are like that dot.
Yeah.
Because to me, what that was reminiscent of was Josie and the Pussycats.
Yeah. Also Hanna-Barbera John.
And also, drawn together, Foxy, who is supposed to be a Hanna-Barbera type.
Yes.
Because...
I think she's specifically supposed to be something like Josie and the Pussycats.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's right. Talk about the show! Why aren't you talking about the show?
Okay,
I'm sorry. We'll get back to the show.
No, I'm not sorry. Do you want content or not? I will talk about Scooby-Doo. Look, I have found a way to connect this back to Archie again.
Okay.
Don't make me connect this back to Archie again.
Connect it back to Archie.
That's who did the Archie cartoons in the 60s and 70s was Hanna-Barbera. That's why...
That makes sense.
That's why you're saying those looks are similar. Hanna-Barbera did the Josie and the Pussycats cartoon.
Of course. I kind of had that this looked like less of a Hanna-Barbera, and it reminded me at times of like Tex Avery.
Okay.
Of that kind of like weird distortion at times. And also, it's very clearly, to me, Flash. That like cartoon look. That internet cartoon look, specifically.
I was going to say the other thing it reminded me of was Total Drama Island in look.
Yes.
That's contemporary to it.
Yeah, that like super cel-shaded look that like feels at home on like a Newgrounds.
Yes, it really, I got the like total, which is very contemporary of the time. If this was 2006, it most likely was made.
In Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we open this show with a monkey. It's a monkey just hanging out on a branch.
Yeah, that's who looks like Jungle Boy. I think they did the face similar.
Yeah. It's a little monkey. He's trying to get a little bit of fruit. And then he is run over by the Dino Mobile.
Yes, he is... This happens so fast.
This is super, we're starting in media res. Mm-hmm. Like, we are mid-race.
Yes.
And we are just, like...
If anything, we are at the last leg of the race.
Yeah, it just assaults you with there we go. We're underway. You know all these characters. Let's go.
And he immediately gets electrified by, I think, Dr. Patent Pending.
Yes, electrifies the monkey. The monkey has a real bad time.
So that happens literally immediately. I'm actually pulling the Wacky Races back up because I cannot remember the names of the cars. It's hard.
Yeah. So then we end up with Parker.
Well, no, before that, the Professor Pending gets overtaken by the Gruesome Twosome.
Yes, yeah, we're establishing all the characters, yes.
And I think in this version, Bella, Little Gruesome, because you know I was the big one and the little one?
Yes.
The little one definitely looks like they have made her female for this version.
Yes.
I have the note of, it's a very Mavis from Hotel Transylvania type character.
Yeah.
Because it's the mid-2000s, and every franchise had to, like, jam in a little gothy girl if they could. Well, think like Gwen from Total Drama Island.
True. They're all, like, they would not pass up an excuse to have a gothy girl in the late 2000s.
And she's a child, so it's, like, very much in the vein of, like, Billy and Mandy.
Additionally, in the 60s, they were like, we need a cast of wacky characters. We need an over-the-top villain, a caveman, a monster, a gangster, a woman. And that was enough for it to be like, wow!
Yeah.
That's different. So, there wasn't a lot of gender representation in the Wacky Races. So, any chance to have some more was a good move.
Penelope was the only female character in the original.
Exactly.
So, the Gruesome Twosome get overtaken by, but before we get his name, I have him as the love child of Fred and Speed Racer.
Yes.
And I mean Fred from Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. Ascot Fred.
And that's Parker.
Yes.
Parker Perfect. Because Peter Perfect and Penelope Pitstop have gotten married since the events of the original Wacky Races. And now have 2 children who are racing.
Which,
for no apparent reason, because no one else seems to have changed or aged.
Well, the Gruesome Twosome are different now. Because...
I'm sorry, did the immortal vampires age? That's stupid.
One became a woman.
Look, I am not going to assume anything about that other vampire's journey.
What I'm saying is... I think what they're establishing is these are not the same characters. These are the next generation of these characters, except for Dick Dastardly.
Maybe, because we don't know anything about the cavemen at all.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's Professor Patent Pending.
Yeah.
But, like, we don't...
But it could be Professor Patent Pending Jr., for all we know.
Yeah, it could be, Professor Pat Granted.
Yes. In any case...
And so, I have a note about the Gruesome Twosome that they have a 3-headed dog.
Yes, they have a Cerberus.
They have a 3-headed good boy, is in my notes.
Yes. So, Parker's father is talking to him.
Yeah, he appears as like a hologram on his dashboard.
Yes. And...
Peter Perfect from the prior series.
Peter Perfect from the prior series talks to Parker. And
Peter Perfect from the prior production pontificates to Parker.
Yes. Talk about the show. We are one guy. Anyway, Papa Perfect pontificates to Parker that he should be polite to his partner, Piper Perfect, who's his little sister. They kind of have like a sibling rivalry.
Yes, and Piper is being lectured to by her mother, Penelope.
Yes, Penelope Perfect.
So, the father is lecturing him, like, be nice to your sister. And Penelope is lecturing Piper of, like, oh, your brother's honest. He doesn't cheat to win like you do.
Yeah.
So setting up our only female character as a villain.
Slightly conniving.
Our only female driver, because in the Gruesome Twosome, I wonder if they would have kept the name Bella.
Yeah.
for the smaller gruesome twosome, because the character was named for Bella Lugosi.
Oh, that makes sense.
So it's always been Bella, so that's probably why they kept the name.
So while they're driving, Parker is having this conversation with his father, and also Viceroy, which is like the second in command for
Perfect Industries,
Industries
is now the corporate sponsor of the Wacky Races.
Yes.
So Piper and Parker are Nepo babies.
Yes. Nepo babies. I will say, during this whole scene, it looks very Speed Racer.
Yes.
Very like the background is just kind of blurry while the car is like the only thing in focus to create the illusion of movement. Parker says, please get off my dashboard, it's hard to see. And then we get the explanation that coming up is a bridge made of snakes.
$60 million worth of snakes.
$60 million worth of snakes were used to make a bridge, but they're sleepy snakes. And because it's such a wacky race, they will race across the snakes. This is when we get the big reveal. Dick Dastardly gets a message from Viceroy.
Yep.
But he's the second in command for Perfect Industries.
Change of plans. Forget driving a wedge between Parker and Piper. Those infernal brats are already at war. Just win the race.
And then Perfect Industries will finally be ours!
Yes, so Dick Dastardly's plan was originally to drive a wedge between the Perfect children.
Mm-hmm.
And the Viceroy wants to own Perfect Industries, and he has essentially said, those infernal brats are always at war. Yeah. You don't need to drive a wedge between them. Just win the race.
Yes, and Dick Dastardly goes,
and none of your foolish schemes, understood?
But of course, Mr. Viceroy. Clearly, he was speaking in code and wants us to drive this cheese wedge into those little monsters just as I planned. No, Muttley, we can't win fairly. We are villains, ergo we have to cheat.
And for the second week in a row, we have a giant cheese implement.
Yes, a giant cheese wedge is then flung out in front of Dick Dastardly's car, who, by the way, in my notes I wrote down as Snidely Whiplash. It is not Snidely Whiplash, it is Dick Dastardly.
I used to make the same mistake when I was a child.
Yes, Snidely Whiplash is the villain from Dudley Do-Right, which is a side cartoon for Rocky and Bullwinkle. In any case, he's going to use this this wedge of cheese to
drive a wedge between
them. This is where he says the great line, "We're villains, we have to cheat."
Because Muttley says, can't we just win? We're really close to... They're, cartoonish... It's a cartoon. They are very close to the finish line.
When you say cartoonishly villain, this is the person they're talking about.
Yes.
That's who's being referenced when he's like, oh, he's a cartoon villain twirling his mustache. That's Dick Dastardly.
It's Dick Dastardly and Snidely Whiplash. Those are the two villains that you're referencing.
This is just some messaging I remember as a kid, and it's still prevalent today. But the idea that villains are villains because they're villains...
Yeah.
People are never doing bad things in these cartoons because they're driven by power or they're down and out and feeling desperate. It's because they're evil.
Yeah.
That is a thing that is still that's a lazy town Robbie Rotten. His name's Robbie Rotten. He's gonna be a bad guy.
Yeah, why? Because I'm evil.
Yes. And it's just an interesting thing that, in early cartoons, bad guys are bad because they're bad. And that's all the explanation you need.
Yeah. Because we did not need to create, like, anti-heroes in children's cartoons at that time. Children's cartoons were allowed to be fairly uncomplicated.
Yes. Are we up to the point where they make it to the snake bridge?
Yes. I have the notes. The snakes are going to wake up, aren't they?
Yes, so it turns out that as a wacky twist, the snakes will wake up.
Second place,
I got it covered, thanks.
Well, don't lose hope, pal. There is one more surprise.
The snakes are gonna wake up, aren't they?
Right about now!
And do snake things instead of being a road. Like, visually this is very interesting. Conceptually it's very confusing. Like, they got a bunch of sleeping snakes, they constructed a road, and then as they were going to use it as a road, they woke them up. This leads to a bunch of shenanigans with the snakes moving and the road changing. And this leads to Piper nearly falling off of a cliff.
Yes.
And Parker is there to make the save because they're still brother and sister.
Yeah.
And Parker kind of razzes her a bit.
Yeah, because Parker's car has, like, a spike, and he spelunks up the cliff.
Yes.
With the snakes tied on, so, like, it bounces all of the racers to safety.
Yes.
Including his sister. Mm-hmm. Because a bunch of other racers get stuck on the bridge, too.
Yes.
Where they're just not important to the plot.
Yeah. Except everybody bounces to safety except for Dick Dastardly and Muttley, who are covered in snakes.
Drat, and double drat.
Yes. And then the episode ends and nobody wins.
And Muttley giggles, just so. I think this would have been much more successful had they had just done an 11-minute race.
I think definitely seeing someone win would have really helped this. Like, I think if you had done a nice thing where Parker and Piper are like nose to nose and they tie as they cross the finish line. And they kind of have an argument of like, I was ahead of you. You're only there because I saved you. If I hadn't stopped to save you, I would have won. Well, if you hadn't done this, I would have won. And then someone can be like, guys. The Gruesome Twosome has been here for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, where they had just won.
And then they can both be like, next time. And then it's like, oh, I hope there's a next time. But the fact that we don't get a winner made it feel like they forgot the concept of the show. Which is Wacky Race.
Which is racing.
Yeah.
And having like this over the top like corporate storyline. Yeah.
So that is Wacky Races Forever.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Anything else to add about it?
I really don't have anything else to add to this. We really led with a lot of the research this time.
Yes.
So we don't really have the same amount of research to do at the end. It seems like they are forever trying to either reboot or they don't want to let these characters go. Mm-hmm. Even though outside of Dastardly and Muttley, I don't know how much of a following anyone else has in present day.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, a little bit of Captain Caveman. I know he's referenced often in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes.
I also know that there is an episode of South Park where I think it's the Tesla Cybertruck episode.
Yeah.
And they just have, like, all these different, like, weird vehicles that get made. And they're like, all right, well, we're going to decide on Saturday who's the fastest car. And we're going to televise it. And,
so they do, like, a gumball rally, cannonball run-esque.
Well, Stan's dad actually goes, oh, my God. It's the Wacky Races. And, like, he runs and tells all the adults, he's like, the Wacky Races are on Saturday! And they go out and they buy out the store of cereal. And then they're all just in their pajamas.
Oh,
eating cereal, watching the Wacky Races.
Wait, why is that heartwarming?
Oh, it's great. It's a great episode. And there's this moment where they're like, the fact that they're playing off like, this is a Saturday morning cartoon. They're all talking like someone's going to get really hurt today. I hope they can keep an eye on Dick Dastardly. Saturday morning cartoons, but they're also watching The Hunger Games.
Yeah.
It is a fantastic episode of South Park.
All right.
I really enjoy.
I've realized that I think when I was a kid, I used to do the Motley laugh to make my dad laugh. Because I realized, like, I tried to do the imitation and it came
immediately.
And I was like, oh, I think this is a thing I used to do as a child to make my parents laugh.
As a child, I legitimately laughed like Woody Woodpecker. And people hated me.
Oh.
I had to actively stop having this laugh, but I'll try to do it now. I used to be like, and that was my legitimate laugh. And my friends were like, we hate making you laugh.
Oh,
so I stopped.
Another friend and I both had the same weird laugh. We'd both squeak, but never at the same time. So if something like set the two of us off, it would just be us alternating squeaking.
Like tennis.
And I still do it.
Yeah, I've heard you squeak before.
And like, I just remember, like, my friend and I used to do it, and we'd get made fun of for both doing it.
Right.
But it made me feel better that I was not the only person who laughed like that.
Yes. We're just folks with weird laughs.
I can only do the Morrigan laugh at a specific friend of ours when I'm making fun of
Yes, but
him.
you do also legitimately laugh that way. I have to ask, has this ever been a video game? Just because, like, whenever you have a franchise of a lot of characters, you make a kart racer. That's what Mario did. That's what Nickelodeon did. That's what Disney did. Like, you have a bunch of beloved characters. Why not make a Wacky Racers video game?
PlayStation 1 and the Game Boy Color.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Now that I think about it, I think they just played it on Game Grumps.
Oh.
Like, maybe 4 days ago. That they did the Wacky Races video game. So, yeah, that's interesting. Talk about the show! I don't care about video games! I hate that guy. I guess we should do the verdict.
Yeah.
So what do you say?
I'm going to say this is a stay doomed by virtue of the game over rule.
Yeah.
I think there's life in the Wacky Races as a concept.
Yeah.
I think had this pilot been a whole pilot, or at least just been less, it was simultaneously too much and not enough. Like, I feel like we got bogged down in the perfect family dynamic more than I cared about, and you didn't get to see the fun characters do as much.
This to me is perfect example of, like, corporate meddling, executive meddling.
In both senses, because Perfect Industries is meddling in the race.
Yeah, exactly. And he doesn't see that Viceroy is evil. No, it's the idea of, like, we're going to bring back the Wacky Racers, but nobody cares about these characters. We need new characters, cool characters, hip characters. Let's do the children of the beloved characters. So it's extra hard to kind of be accessible. Because it's not going to be accessible to the people who like Wacky Races, because the characters they like are gone. But if you're new to Wacky Races, there's lore from the 60s you need to know to fully understand what's going on.
Yeah.
In 2007. It's just a very silly way to go about it. Like, just reboot the characters. We don't need to be like, this is the third quarter quell of the Wacky Races.
Like, I think you could have absolutely kept Penelope and Peter as the racers and changed Bella if you really wanted to.
Yeah. Nothing would have stopped you from doing that.
Like, it's a 40-year-old cartoon at that point. Stuff's gonna change.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like when you change characters to female characters in later reboots, people lose it or anything.
Yeah, exactly. The Wacky Races message boards were flaming.
Ruining their childhood.
For me, it is also a Stay Doomed. But that's going to do it for us here at Stay Doomed Studios, who was your favorite Wacky Racer? Let us know in our Discord. You can find a link down below. And if you don't want to do that, how else can you find us?
You can email us at thestaydoomedshow@gmail.com or on Blue Sky at Stay Doomed.
And if you want to talk to me about a time you were right when you were 6, I'm at TV's Noah on Blue Sky and Instagram.
If you think it's interesting that the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo ran only one season, I'm Laura Crane on Blue Sky. Until next time, stay doomed.